Hi all, welcome to the final whistle. Another match preview then. Oh, will it be the last of Brendan Rodgers in this one then, as Leicester take on Palace in their next home game? We know a former Leicester manager got the sack after losing 4-1 to Crystal Palace, and he goes by the name of Claude Puel. So will it be Brendan Rodgers' time? What do we reckon? We've got a lot to talk about. We've got Jordan here. We've got Rich here from Eagle-Eyed Football, Crystal Palace channel. They'll tell you what they do and how to find them on YouTube. But yeah, guys, remember, smash a like and subscribe to the final whistle. And I will see you in just a second. Hi all, welcome to the final whistle. Really hope everyone's well. Get your comments in, get your views in then. There's a big match at the KP, 12:30 tomorrow. Get down there, go and support the lads and go and get behind them. So yeah, we're on for the Leicester City versus Crystal Palace match preview. We've got Eagle-Eyed Football joining us very shortly as we, Leicester versus Palace. Let's get the lads in then. Rich, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm all good. I'm all good. Sorry, I've been mad hectic picking up the girls from school and that, but I'm glad I've made it.
Good. Let's get you co-hosting as well, Jordan. It's a bit of a 2-on-1. How are you, boys?
Yeah, doing good. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Talk to me about Eagle-Eyed Football then, lads. How did it come about and what do you do?
Well, Rich, you take that.
You know what's crazy? It's a weird one. I'm kind of new to the whole YouTube space and stuff. I'm showing my age, by the way. And I was just jumping on like KG the Comedian's show a few times, just giving my footballing opinions. And then him and a guy called Bradley were like, "You should start a channel." I'm like, "Well, I ain't got time for that. I'm a school teacher." It's like, no. You've got good opinions, you've got good views, and you support a team that like may not have many people doing channels and stuff.
Yep.
So I just started it up and such. Obviously, through starting that, you kind of then find the other Palace channels, and kind of met Jordan through it. I was liking what he was doing. I saw the graphics and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, Jordan, he knows his stuff as well. And we kind of just built a team from there, really. And we're enjoying it. We're really enjoying it.
Lads, talk to me about thoughts on Palace this season. Then Jordan, we'll start with you. You're 15th place. Talk to me about the season.
I'm personally pretty impressed with what we've done. I think we've played 4 of the big 6 already, which I think is pretty good. We've got some good results. We nearly got a draw against Chelsea, so we played very well there. We got a very deserved draw against Liverpool. Man City, could we have done better? Maybe. I think if a few more decisions went our way, that could have been a win or another draw.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think looking at who we've played and how we've played, I'm pretty impressed with 9 points, 9 games. Point a game will keep you up. And at the moment, we're going at that rate. So it's not panic stations, but obviously this is the start of a 5 or 6 game run where we're playing against teams we should be getting points from. If we keep going like how we kicked off that little run with Leeds, I don't see why we couldn't maybe get 11th, 12th place this year.
Rich, talk to me about Palace then.
It's been, you know what, considering our fixture, as JC was saying, considering our fixture list, apart from the Brentford game, I think that was probably the biggest disappointment of the fixtures. We've obviously had a very tough run and we've picked up some decent points where we were expected to. And even with the games where we may not have won, we've given a good account of ourselves, which is good for this season. I guess the only thing as a Palace fan, we're just always worried about our squad depth. Because if we have any injuries or if Chet Corey gets cramp or something, we're looking across the bench and thinking, he's going to put Milo on, isn't he? He's going to put Luka on, isn't he? Like, so apart from
also got penalty him though, doesn't he? Luka Milivojevic.
This is it. But apart from that, like it's been a solid start. But it will mean nothing if we don't build on the win against Leeds, basically.
Yeah, true. Lads, talk to me about this man then. Patrick Viera. Talk to me about his time at Palace. Came into management. They thought, you know what, he'll be the first manager to go. He'll do no good at Palace. He ain't a manager. Talk to me about Patrick Viera. Has he answered his critics, to these people who writ him off quite early on as Palace manager, do you think?
I said this on I don't know if you saw it, but I said this on Chris's stream last night. Going from Lucien Favre, which we was nailed on to get as our manager, to come to Patrick Viera, it really seemed a bit like this. Because Lucien Favre did a madness at Dortmund, he did a madness at Nice as well. Quite ironic that Viera got sacked from Nice where Favre came in as well, which is a nice little bit of history there. And honestly, going there, I was the first guy on Twitter saying, oh my gosh, what have we done? This guy got sacked from the MLS. He got sacked from the French league. What are we doing? But he has proven us all wrong. I think I've deleted them tweets now, so I'm probably just incriminating myself. But yeah, he's done everything he can do. Him and Doogie are working so closely together. If anything, he's the guy that should be getting most of the props because he's been looking at these players for years. And unfortunately, we had managers that didn't want these kind of players. And now we've got a manager that wants the kind of players that we're scouting. We're able to bring in the likes of Eze for 14 million, Elise for 8 million. Like, we're making incredible signings for the future. And also, those players now, they're probably worth double, maybe even triple what we bought him for already. And they've only got time to grow. So Viera, great. He's changed our style. He's changed everything about the club, and it's been so seamless as well. It's just worked, and everything's gone pretty well so far.
Rich, what's your thoughts on Patrick Viera then?
See, unlike Jordan, I didn't go out and rule him out straight off the back.
I was on Twitter. I was just the fingers were going, bro. The fingers were going.
I was just happy that we kind of were going away from the traditional. And no disrespect to British managers, but we kind of just had a carousel of the same type of manager. Yeah. So apart from obviously Frank de Boer, who didn't work. So it was just nice to know that, see that we were going against that again and just giving it another go. Now for me, yes, he's been sacked from like the MLS and stuff, but I personally thought we're getting in a manager who actually went to the MLS to play his trade. He's already a Premier League legend. And for him to say, you know what? I'm going to swallow my pride and learn my trade in a league that no one actually respects. I thought to myself, I like that from him and stuff because when you think about the type of ex-players who've gone into massive clubs, you look at Lampard. His first job was Derby. Gerrard's first job was Rangers, if I'm mistaken. So
it was,
and Viera, debatably bigger than both of them as a player, and that's going to be down to personal preference. And he then went to the MLS, so I kind of saw like a humble side to him in that aspect.
Well, after I took some further thought, I thought the exact same thing because I think that was about the time where I joined the channel and I spoke with you, and I didn't really think about that at all. But now I thought about it, I was like, yeah, that's actually he's bettered his long-term career instead of having a short-term career where he could have went straight to Arsenal or something like that, and then he could have humiliated himself, like kind of what Lampard did at Chelsea too early.
Lads, Robbie Gamble wants to know then, who have you brought in during the summer and who is really impressed?
There's only one guy, really, isn't there? There's only one guy.
Check the Corey.
Check.
He's been superb. I'm so gutted we don't have another midfielder who can either play the 6 with him or replace him if he comes off. He's come from Lens, and I feel like he's come off almost every game through like cramp or something because the amount of yards he covers is unreal and stuff. And obviously the pace in the Premier League is stupid. It's like very quick. So, I mean, I don't know if you would have mentioned him before, but Samari, when we were linked with him, I was like, please send him our way.
I think we wanted Rid.
Yeah, but it seems like he's having a good season.
Did, I don't know if it were the fans. It was more like Brendan Rodgers, if anything. Would you have took Samari, like talking about Boubakary Samari? What did you think about his time at
100%?
His time in like the MLS, the Liga?
Yep, take him with a heartbeat.
Who would he replace? Who would he replace then, lads? Is a hole in your midfield then Boubakary Samari if he was to join Crystal Palace?
There is a very distinct hole in our midfield. We've got laid in there. Is Ebere Eze is the main guy.
Fantastic player.
Chet Decore is also the main guy in that midfield. It's just the last one to fill it in. Yeah. And Samari, obviously, we're not Leicester fans, but during the Transfer Weekly, I did pretty extensive research on this guy, and he can play various different roles. He can be deployed as an attacking mid. I think he's most comfortable as a sort of box-to-box type of midfielder, but he can also play in that DM role. So he is very versatile, and I think that him being able to play all them different roles would sort of satisfy us, and he will be that third midfielder, and that would look out our midfield. And Rich will probably agree with me. That is a very, very strong midfield.
Yeah. I'm honestly gutted he's playing well at the moment for you guys.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, he is. The price we were quoted or rumoured, which was about 12 to 14 million pounds, that would have been a ridiculous steal.
Yeah. And plus, if he wasn't going to be playing under Rodgers, we would have gone back in for him in January, I'm sure.
Oh, 100%.
And then that might have been looking at 8 to 10. You know what I mean? So, yeah. You've got a good player on your hands. I just hope Rodgers freezes him out again, please.
I just think with Samari, he needed game time. There was talk about him being homesick and that, and things weren't working out for him in the Premier League, and he had personal issues as well, and I guess that affected his football mentally and that, and but now giving him the chance, he's that player what we brought in from the Liga, and he's turned out to be a great midfielder when called upon. I just feel if he can get a good run of games under his belt, he'll be a fantastic acquisition to Leicester City Football Club. Lads, I want to get your thoughts on this, man. Come on. Brendan Rodgers. He's under massive pressure as Leicester City manager. What is your outside views on Brendan Rodgers? And do you think he'll be the next manager to get sacked? Because Leicester fans now have turned their back on the manager.
I think. Do you have a midweek game, by the way?
Yeah, Leeds United at home. After you.
If you don't get 4 points,
Yeah.
I think it could be it. And it's weird because he's done really well for you guys. Like you think he's won the FA Cup, he's got you playing good football. I think it's weird because you've spent money, but then you could question if this money's been spent right. And the quality of players that have been coming into your club, and it's like no disrespect to Leicester City, but like Tielemans, like you're bringing in absolute quality and stuff. So yeah, I don't know where it's gone wrong for you. I was listening to Chris from Listen to a Diet, and it's just the whole aspect of Kasper Schmeichel, and it's just like, right, it really got toxic, you know.
Yeah, I think rumor was that he left because of Brendan Rodgers. So it's the kind of like a falling out between him and players because there's rumours in the club that he's fell out with about 3 or 4 players, and a big fraction of players don't want to play under Brendan Rodgers. Apparently, I've heard. Wow. So, is it the team not wanting to play for him now? Has he had his time at Leicester? Because Liverpool had the same situation. If you remember him as Liverpool manager, he had a 3-year spell, and then that was it. And Gerrard did whatever, but it weren't Gerrard's fault. You know what I mean? It was Brendan Rodgers, his football and that. I think he gets that sort of 3 years in the Premier League, and then that's it. He goes downward spiral, like Liverpool fans said. Yeah,
and I guess he's probably hit that cycle now. And
yeah,
I think the reason why I think that I asked about the next game, I think it's because the turnover's too quick.
It is.
I don't think. Let's say you lose to us tomorrow. It'd be too quick a turnover to sack him before Leeds, I think. But you lose against us and maybe don't beat Leeds, I think that'll be it.
Jordan, what do you think to Brendan Rodgers then?
I think historically, very good manager. I seem to believe that he's always one of them managers that sort of overperform with a underdeveloped / filled squad. I think he's very good at getting the most out of little things. But
do you think he's more of a coach though and not a manager?
I don't know. I've never really followed Brendan Rodgers that closely, but from what I do know is that he's done wonders with that Leicester team, and he sort of built them up to be very good. I think that this whole talk about Leicester and FFP sort of is a big contributor to why he's not doing very well right now, because obviously you're looking at players. Brendan Rodgers is probably looking at, I want to bring in this guy, and this guy, just for the owners to turn around and say, well, no, we can't get anyone unless you get anyone out the door. And also with the Fofana throwing his toys out the pram, it just made his job extremely difficult. And put it this way, if he was told about this FFP at the start of the window, he could have looked at free agents to bolster the squad. He could have tried to blood some youngsters during pre-season. He could have done a lot, but I don't think that the club actually helped him out at all, and I think they've hung him out to dry a little bit. So I think it's harsh for them to get rid of Rodgers, but obviously a very quick fix is just change the manager, unfortunately, and that's how football is these days, especially in the Premier League.
Rich, do you want to pick up from that one then with Robbie?
Yeah, no, thanks for the clarification, because obviously as Palace fans, I wouldn't say we necessarily, there's my girls, we necessarily look out for these things, but I think also, would you call it, with regards to Kasper Schmeichel, apparently he was on 149 games in a row.
And then he dropped him.
That's crazy.
He'd have been fuming at that point. If you were a goalkeeper and you had 149 games and your next game was 150, if you got dropped, you'd be fuming, wouldn't you?
I couldn't. When I heard, I was stunned. I was like, yeah, that's bang out of order.
I just feel with Brendan, his stubbornness and the way he approaches things, and he's never been in this position before, has he, as a manager? I mean, he did well at Celtic. Did he win? Were it 9 league titles, was it, Celtic? Celtic were on that run, weren't they? Up to the 10th, and then Gerrard ended that run. I think Brendan now, he's done well within the time that he's been here, winning the Community Shield, FA Cup, 2 top 5 finishes and then 8th place finish. But now he's that sort of manager now who's sitting there like, oh, it's all right, we'll go and get 40 points. I mean, what would that tell you, Rich, as a fan? You've finished 2 top 5 finishes in the last couple of seasons, an 8th place finish, and now Viera is sitting there saying, oh, you know what? We can't achieve any more. 40 points is a must, and that's it. Does that down toll that squad and not the confidence from the squad, do you think?
Yeah, as a gaffer, you can't be saying this publicly, personally. No way. I know down at Palace, if we heard a manager saying that, we'll run him out of the club ourselves.
Yeah.
Literally, you cannot in any way, shape, or form be coming out and saying that. And if he's alienating the club, if he's alienating the fans, he's gonna go. He's gonna get his time. He'll end up going. So
yeah, he spent a lot of money since he's been here. Like Mark Gatwood says, £100 million. Division 1 footer, Scottish football is 2 elite teams, 1 team when Rodgers was there. Yeah, I agree. Rangers were in a crap position, weren't they, Rich, in the time that Brendan Rodgers were at Celtic with the administration and all that. They had to build themselves back up again. There were only 1 team in Scotland at that time, wasn't there? There was no competition.
Yeah, that's a very good point. A very good point. I'll send my CV.
You got to bottle the Palace game first, and then you start managing.
Yeah. Throw the Palace game, and we'll talk.
Lads, let's go on to the big game then. Leicester versus Crystal Palace. It's a 12:30 tomorrow. Talk to me then, lads. Pick out a game, a Leicester Palace game, your most memorable Leicester versus Palace game. Go first, Rich.
I was trying to get that thinking time.
Home or away, whichever one you feel.
You know what? In recent time, I'm actually going to go to last year's 2-2 draw.
Okay.
The reason being, as a Palace fan, we don't normally come back from any go down, sort of. So, and especially it was quite early in Viera's tenure, and the results weren't great at the time.
Yeah.
So to obviously come back from 2-0 down and get a 2-2 draw against, and should have won, to be fair, would have given a chance. I'll say for that reason that game. Jordan,
what about you?
It's got to be 5-0 at Sellers Park. It has to be, doesn't it?
When Caldwell was manager, I think we got a red card that game, didn't we?
Yeah, Mark Albrighton got sent off, I remember. I think it has to be that 5-0 because I don't think Roy Hodgson will ever score 5 goals against another team ever.
Good point.
And I think that was and Benteke scored as well. So it makes it even better.
You're making it worse.
I would say it has to be that because I don't think, even though you guys were a man down, we were magnificent that day. I remember Loftus-Cheek scoring. I think Van Arnold scored as well, actually.
No players who didn't really score for you, did they, that season? It all clicked in one game.
Yeah, he played very well.
Let's talk about head-to-head then, lads. It will be the 78th meeting tomorrow. Leicester won 30, drew 20 with you, and lost 27. Let's have a look at the table. Where is it? There it is. Let's get the thing out of the way. That. Talk to me about the table then, lads. Leicester, Forest, Wolves, Southampton, Villa, Palace. Would you say from Palace downwards then that would be the relegation battle this season so far, early on?
Not necessarily, I think there's a few teams above us that are still in and around it. I think Brentford on 9 points. I think Leeds are there on 9 points as well. There's a few teams that are above 50 that could get sucked in. But I think that we'll get a better
down there, isn't it?
It's close. It is close. We'll get a better indication, a better gauge, I think, after the World Cup, because that World Cup could see a lot of teams come back with injured players. we just don't know. You know, it's we've never had a season like this before, so we don't know how it's going to end up.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, I'd probably say wait until as far as Christmas, because I think that Christmas period can make and break a season. And I think that if some people really are struggling now, and they keep struggling in Christmas, then they're tempting fate.
Crazy. Lads, talk to me then. What was your predictions at the start of the season then for the 3 to go down?
I think I had Bournemouth.
I think I had all the promoted teams. I'm not going to lie to you.
I think so too, but I did have Everton struggling again because I'm not really a Frank Lampard fan.
I think I had Everton and Southampton struggling.
Yeah. Oh no, Southampton I think was in my bottom 3. Bournemouth, Fulham, and Southampton. I think I've said Forest to stay up.
Who surprised you though so far, like in the Premier League?
Fulham.
To who's done well? Yeah. What about Brighton?
They've done well as well, to be fair.
I think that sort of, even though rivalries aside, I think deep down in all our hearts, we all knew that they were a good team. And Potter's a great manager. And he got them playing.
So glad he's gone.
Yeah. Put it this way. If he didn't duck us, we would have got slapped. Yeah. I don't know if you agree with that, Rich.
No. We weren't beating Brighton.
No.
We weren't beating them. Not the way we were playing.
Yeah, but then again, the new guy, he's not doing badly either, see. But yeah, I think with Brighton, you know, you can see it happen because they have gone toe to toe with the big teams and beaten them, and they've done exactly that, just kicked on from last season. I think the people that have definitely impressed me is Fulham, 100%. I'm still, even though they've spent quite a bit of money, I'm still impressed with Newcastle.
Yeah,
I think that they are a really, really strong side this season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, if anything, Bournemouth as well, to an extent.
Because games unbeaten.
Yeah, like you sort of go under the radar a little bit because they got beat 9-0, sacked Scott Parker, and then ever since then, they've actually been picking up points under the radar. No one's really thinking about them very much. They're going down. But if you look at where they are on the table, they're doing decent right now.
Do you want to pick up on that one of you two about Brighton? Obviously, are they your rivals? Let's get it right. Are they your rivals?
If I had it my way, I wouldn't have any association with them whatsoever. To be fair, they're nowhere near us. They're not near us demographically. I think it all stemmed from like an argument with managers.
Yeah,
back in the day. So it's just like and stuff. But it does make it's a lively game though. I give it that.
Yeah.
When you're thinking about entertainment purposes, it is feisty.
100%. If there was no rivalry there, then our only rival is Millwall and Charlton, and
they're not in the league. Yeah.
They're not in the league, and if anything, if there was no rivalry there, then it would have just been another, I guess, bland game. There would be just 3 points. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. But now there's jeopardy in there, and it's a very exciting game.
Yeah.
True.
I do want to give Arsenal a special shout out, by the way.
Go on then.
Because Arteta's done really well. How he's getting them playing football, they're toe to toe with all the teams that they're facing. They were brilliant against Liverpool. I mean, obviously a few defensive lapses and such, but they've given him time, and it's kind of like coming together quite nicely. So,
guys, if you can, smash a like and subscribe on YouTube. Go and subscribe to the Eagle-Eyed Football YouTube channel. Their link is in the description as well. So go and check them guys out if you're a neutral. Let's talk about last time round then, Rich and Jordan. A 2-1 victory for the Foxes. Dewsbury Hall and Lutman and Palace scored as well, didn't they? That was the game where you guys was on a run, weren't you, Richard? I believe. Was it 7 or 8 games?
we were doing okay, but the following week we had the FA Cup semi-final. Our heads weren't in
Chelsea.
Our heads were not on this game, and I think it was made. Like, you lot started brilliantly. Like, I'm not going to take anything away from you.
Yeah,
you guys were on it. Dewsbury Hall's finish. Oh my! He's not playing.
Did Zaha have a penalty? Like Schmeichel saved it, and then he got another one, and then he put it in.
He had to take it quite a few times. But what do you call it? I think when Mitchell went off injured, I think every player then really decided. Started thinking, oh, actually, don't really want to be getting injured before final. And no way, Robbie, no way. No way. I'm just answering the question. Jack Artsy surprised you. I said Arsenal surprised you. That's all I'm doing. But yeah, when Mitchell came off in that game, I think everyone was thinking, do I really want to be getting injured before an FA Cup semi-final? You know, Gallagher's his head was gone because obviously he'd just been told that he couldn't play in the semi-final. So it was just one of those kind of dead rubber games on our part. So hopefully we have a better showing tomorrow.
Let's talk about a former Fox end, lad. You know what I'm going to bring up? Jeffrey Schlupp. Talk to me about the ex-Fox then. Start with you, Jordan. Come on. Talk to me about Jeffrey Schlupp's time at Crystal Palace.
Overall, I think he's been a great player for us. Squad player. Used to play at left back.
Yep.
We'll say that because he played left back last week and it didn't go too well. We'll say that. Sort of developed into a more midfield / left wing role.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think Viera sort of coached him into that position. He sort of started off and he looked awful in midfield, thinking, what does Viera see in this guy? But I think the more and more he's developed, he's actually a pretty competent midfielder these days. However, with all that developing, he's lost all his talent as a left back. I think for the 8 million that we paid for him, I think that it's a very good price for what we got out of him. Still at the club. I think has he signed a new deal?
I think last season he signed was it a 2-year extension?
I thought it was a free.
Oh, maybe it's a 3-year. Okay.
But yeah, he's still contracted to the club for a little bit more time. I think everyone likes Schlupp. I think he's good to have in the dressing room, good to have at training, and he is pace and power when he gets going. So he's a pain to play against when he's on his day.
He does love a goal against Leicester, by the way.
Does love a goal.
Scored last season when he came on, not long after.
Yeah,
oh God,
he does love a goal, and because of how strong and fast he is, I bet you it's always good to train against him because
he couldn't shoot when he were at Leicester, boys. Let's give you that.
He's not done too bad for us, to be fair.
He was scoring loads he was scoring loads when we had Hodgson. I remember that at the tail end of the last season, he scored a banger against Burnley, didn't he? He fucking touched it down and slapped it first time.
Yeah, and then he got a really important one against Bournemouth, I think, at the time. I think we got. Yeah. Did we ever send enough? Was that Sellers? And we came back.
Yeah. I wasn't at that game. I remember I was at a concert. I remember he did a run from our half and just put it bottom corner, thinking this guy is a beast.
Rich, talk to me about Schlupp then. What's your thoughts on the
I've loved having him at the club, honestly. And even though last season, this season, his energy in midfield is infectious. You know, I mean, I guess defensively, I wouldn't say he's naive, but he hasn't got best positionals at times defensively. But when it's carrying the ball forward, because of his driving runs, it just creates so much space, you know, for our attacking players to thrive. And his greatest attribute is he arrives at the box. He does get himself into the box. So, I mean, I know we've been playing Eze and Elise there recently, who are technically unbelievable players, but I feel we kind of lose that drive when we don't have Schlupp in the middle of the park. But that's my personal opinion. But yeah, great squad player. Great.
Yeah, Leicester legend won the Premier League. I remember one game was short. We played Everton, first game of the season. Got 1-on-1 lads and then put it in Rose Head. How it happened, I do not know. Maybe he had rugby boots on, who knows. But yeah, he did all right. He scored a hat-trick at the age of 18 against Rotherham, I believe. So he done all right there. And he scored some goals for Leicester. Talk to me about team selection then, lads. What's the starting 11? We'll start with you, Jordan, of Crystal Palace, because Richard might have a different view.
If I could pick it, I'd go Sam Johnstone in goal because I think that VG has made a few too many mistakes.
Yep.
As of
No
the last
Butland.
game. No Butland. So
Butler's not ready yet, is he?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think he's even fit.
He was in the training video, but he wasn't doing much goalkeeping. So yeah, I think Sam Johnstone in goal. I think VG's made a few too many mistakes and he's just lost his confidence, I think, completely. Left back, we saw what happened when Schlupp's there, and I'm putting Mitchell back again. Centre backs go Mark Gay and Joachim Anderson.
Yep.
Right back, I'm going Joel Ward. In the midfield, I'm going Czech Doucouré. Czech Doucouré, Jeffrey Schlupp, and Ebere Eze.
Yep.
And actually, no, I change it. I'm going Czech Doucouré, Ebere Eze, and Jordan Ayew in midfield.
Yep.
I'm going Wilfred Zaha on the left, Michael Elise on the right, and the goal machine lately, Mr. Odsonne Edouard up top.
See, Edouard was one that Leicester wanted that summer transfer window, and you guys got him from Celtic. That was another one that Leicester missed out on. Rich, talk to me about team selection then, mate.
I'd have the exact same team.
Same team, yeah?
Exact same team. But I think VG will start in goal. And I don't know whether or not Elise or Ayew, who's going to play on the right and who's going to play in the middle. Not too sure yet.
Put it this way, it wouldn't surprise me if we play Elise in midfield and then Ayew out wide again.
Out wide, yeah.
But it should be Ayew in mid and Elise out wide.
You know what? I think Ayew might be out wide to help Wardy with Harvey Barnes because I hate Barnes at the ball.
And also, Patson Daka does like to drift out wide.
Yeah, so I think Ayew will play out wide to help out defensively.
Leicester 11 then. I'm going to go for Danny Ward in goal because that's the way that he's going to go for it anyway, even though I don't believe he's a Premier League goalkeeper. Castagno, if fit, he'll play. Daniel Amati, because I don't believe Johnny Evans is going to play. It's a race against time for Johnny Evans to be fit. Wout Faz, James Justin, Dewsbury Hall, Tielemans, Samore, Barnes, Maddison. Do I play Vardy or Daka? Oof. See, Vardy loves a goal against Palace, doesn't he?
Is Maddison playing? Is Maddison playing out wide?
Well, Brendan Rodgers played him out wide against Bournemouth last weekend.
Yeah, he plays right wing the last couple of games. He's been scoring pretty well.
I know, but I think we can deal with him better out wide than if he was playing in the 10, because in the 10 he's so good.
He is.
Oh, definitely.
So, okay, that's maybe for a little bit better, because, you know, like I said with Czech Doucouré, because he's running all over the place and he's our only real tackler, Maddison's clever enough to find those little pockets behind him. So, okay, if he's playing out wide, I'll be a little bit.
Put it this way, I back Mitchell to do a job.
And Marty plays that's 3 points to Palace.
Hey, so listen, as a Ghanaian, I agree with you.
Well, yeah, put it this way. If you look past the goalkeeper in the back four of Leicester, that is an incredible team.
Yeah.
It's just the back line and the goalkeeper. But it is injuries, and that is unfortunately a problem for teams like us.
I'm going to go for Daka. I think Daka will start tomorrow. He's scored in his last 2 now, Patson Daka. So that'll give him massive confidence running at your defence. But yeah, Robbie says, great listen, lads. Hopefully see you tomorrow, Jack. Best of luck for the rest of the season, Rich and AC. Except tomorrow, have to
Air
go
conditioning. That's my name.
now.
I was called Jack by Chris yesterday.
Talk to me about key players and lads. I'm looking more of the Zahors, the Ezes, the Elises, and Edward. Am I right in what I'm saying about Palace for key players?
You missed one.
Oh.
Joachim Anderson.
Yeah, I was going to say him.
You're picking a defender. I'm thinking more of
Anderson
attacking
and
wise for Palace.
Decore are key to how we play football.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can mix and match.
Are they your key players then?
Yeah. You can mix and match the rest of the team, but as long as you have
Decore and Anderson there,
yep,
we're cool.
100%.
I'm gonna go for Dako, Madison, Barnes, and Samari.
He's just rubbing it in, isn't he?
I'd just love to see Richard's face if Samari scores a cracker tomorrow from outside.
Listen, I just hope Viera goes there, speaks French to him. You know, just say, listen, je ne sais quoi, like, something along those lines. Come on, like, nah, honestly, like, it's good for your sake. It's good that you've given him games because he's a good player.
Don't underestimate Ayew as well.
He's been brilliant actually this season.
Ayew puts the work in, doesn't he? You know, he don't get the credit he deserves at Palace. It's always looking at.
Have you seen how bad the cut actually is on his head? Like his whole eye's swollen still.
Oh, then he might not start.
I doubt it. But if you watch the training video that came out today, you'll see a close-up image of him.
I mean, that's not too bad because then Schlappy can come in there and then at least he goes out wide anyway.
Run at Leicester's defence.
100%.
I think, Rich, what do you think about this second half syndrome then for Crystal Palace? I mean, Leicester's got the same situation. I've talked with JC about it before the show. Is it a problem for Palace? Is that where Leicester can exploit you? Do you think it could be more goals in the second half tomorrow, do you reckon? For both sides playing the same way?
We're better in the second half anyway. We do not start games well.
No.
You know, or if
is it last 10 minutes for you, though?
Oh, that's the worst part.
Where elite goals. That's what I'm on about. The goal
That's
situation.
The worst part. We need to be 2 goals up.
Maybe 4.
With 10 minutes to go because it just gets so nervy, you know. Yeah. Viera is not ready. After seeing him in the under-21s, he's not ready.
Talk to me about injury news then, Rich. What can we expect tomorrow? Who's not going to play for Palace?
All of our right backs.
Is that including Nathaniel Klein?
Yeah. Klein's out. Ferguson's out. Macca's out. Richards is out.
Yo.
Yeah, those are the 4, I believe.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I think Leicester's is Castagnas, Iffy, and Johnny Evans. And obviously Wilfred Ndidi ain't going to be in the game either. So he's out for another 2 weeks. So I guess that isn't great. And Papi Mendy as well, I believe. Lads, the last one then. It's the scores on the doors. Think about this wisely. What's your score predictions then for tomorrow? JC, we'll start with you.
I'm just going back to find my prediction that I put in. Yeah, 3-1 Palace. Got back the boys.
Goal scorers?
Oh, I haven't even thought about that. Goal scorers.
Put you on the spot.
Okay. I heard from Chris that you guys are terrible when defending corners. So I'm going to go Anderson at corner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Edward, so he'll get 3 for 3.
Yeah.
And I think it's about time that Elise gets a goal. I don't think he's scored yet this season, so I think I'll back him to score.
Rich, what about you, mate?
Yeah, I've gone 3-1 as well. But I'm going to go Eddie and a Zaha brace.
See, Zaha loves a goal against Leicester. He loves a goal at the KP. So I like Zaha as a player, though. If we were like European sort of team again, then I'd have took Zaha in a heartbeat because we need a right winger and we ain't got one.
He's not a right
We
winger.
have, well, he can play right wing, no, can't he? He can play either sides but we just don't replace Mahrez. Do you know what I'm saying? We sold Mahrez to Man City for £60 million and haven't found a replacement since. We've had Lookman, we've had Diabate, we've had Cengiz Under, and things just haven't really worked out. But Zaha would have been one that I'd have got when we was in the European stages of the competitions. But I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. That's what my heart's saying. My head, it could be whatever. If Leicester defend the way they are, they've lost 7 in the last 9 Premier League games. I ain't confident at the minute watching Leicester, so I'm going to go for a draw. I think that'd be a wise decision.
Well, put it this way: if Palace are favourites, we lose.
Yeah.
So
who is favourites?
Palace.
Check the Corey. First Palace goal tomorrow. Thank me later. All 3 have been quality since leaving. Lookman, Under, and Diabate now all playing in Europe and scoring. Why we're relegated? Well, we're not relegated yet. We're in the relegation zone. It's not looking great for Leicester. Where can everyone find you then, lads? Come on, tell everybody who's just joined where they can find you on the YouTube channel, Rich.
So on YouTube, it's Eagle Eyed Football. Yeah, thank you for even inviting us on. All the best. All right, girls. All the best tomorrow. We'll both be down there. So with Nate and Dan as well. So
you're down at the game tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, we're coming down.
Hopefully I'll catch you at the game then. After the game, we can do some post-match content.
Hey, if you'd like to, give us a shout.
That's if we're not losing 4-0 at that point. I think I'd want to get home. But JC, thanks for coming on, mate.
No worries.
Cheers, pal. Cheers, Rich. That was Rich and JC from Eagle Eyed Football. Great bunch of lads. And hopefully we'll catch up with them tomorrow at the KP. Daka will score tomorrow and a Marty red card. Rich, if you're hearing that, it'd be something that'd be music to your ears if Marty gets a red card. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching. As always, it's really great to get your comments in on screen, and thank you for supporting the channel. What's coming up on the final whistle then? So the Man City women versus Leicester City women match preview will be out on the channel tomorrow morning. Go and check that out. The girls will be playing on Sunday at 2:00. There'll be a match day vlog coming out as Leicester take on Palace at 12:30. There'll be a match day vlog coming out maybe after the game. It depends how I feel. Depends if we've won or not. But yeah, that'll be coming out. The Premier League predictions as well will be next week. I believe on Monday. We'll have the review show Sunday night. So join me here on the final whistle. And I've got Joe Wayman coming on from the Leeds fan channel. He'll be joining me on Tuesday night as we preview the next one as Leicester take on Leeds. One thing then. Come on, Leicester! Thanks for watching, guys. As always, remember to smash a like on the stream for me on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't already on YouTube. It'd be really much appreciated. We're 50 away from 500. So if you can do that for me, that'd be great. Smash a like on Facebook. And I will see you very soon. This is Jack from the Final Whistle saying good night. And come on, the Leicester. Bye-bye for now, everyone.